Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Fight Night's Fight Club Fight Extravaganza here on the Ocean Splendor. Our main event, the second mate, but he's not second best, Tathir, against the newcomer, Storr.
That's right, Cotton. We're just moments away from what will be the biggest fight of this voyage, that's for sure. And we're underway.
Ladies and gentlemen, we seem to be having some difficulties.
Holy hell, is that a freaking turtle?
I believe it is, Randy. Wait, hold the phone, folks. Orion has just jumped over the ship and, yes, he's turned into a blue whale.
Looks like in another moment of need, he's feeling a little swimmy. Hey, Cotton?
That's right, Randy. Now, taking a look across the battlefield, we see Maven running below deck.
But that's the wrong way, Cotton.
And Togrov with a hurling toss of his...
Axe. Hammer?
I don't think anyone really knows, Randy.
Oh, and the captain! Look at that!
A huge mental whip from Korvak himself, folks. The monster is now reeling back in pain.
That is a wide mouth, Cotton.
Yes, big enough for a blue whale. Orion is now inside the turtle's maw.
Oh, that's not what you wanted to see right after dinner.
Coming up from below deck with...
A sack of potatoes?
Yes, indeed, Randy. The Monolith himself now wielding potatoes. This has turned into quite the extravaganza, folks. Maven has temporarily banished the creature. What a move! Giving the crew time to safely escape and make some much-needed repairs.
You know that turtle's never attacking a ship ever again, eh, Cotton?
Oh, that's right, Randy. That's right.
Welcome to the Lazy BardCast. I'm David Williams, the current Dungeon Master for this campaign, and today is our very own Kyle Dell's birthday.
Who's that?
Disclaimer, there is months between when we record and when we actually release, so this will not at all be his actual birthday.
That'll
Yeah,
get
but
cut
still,
in
just
post.
comment happy birthday.
My name's Kyle Paquin, and I'm playing Taugroth, the Dwarf Paladin. In usual campaign fashion, he has no idea what's going on.
That's not fair.
I'm Kyle Dell, and I'm playing Captain Korvak, the Undying Messiah, and he is still not a pirate.
My name is Josh Yarnell. I'm playing Orion Goodbarrel, everyone's new favorite salty pirate bard whale guy.
Salty.
Salty.
Bard. My name's Sean-Luc Jacques. I'm playing Maven the Monolith Smolderbeard, the Bane of Dragon Turtles. Eater of potatoes.
What a good title.
That's a shirt.
Gotta be. Eater of potatoes.
Eater of potatoes.
If you like what you hear, look us up at the Lazy BardCast, where things are found. For all other things lazy, check out www.lazybardcast.com, where you can find links to our episodes, player backstories, Patreon rewards, and more. Previously on the Lazy BardCast.
Don't use those, Dave.
I'm still going to do it.
Out of character, David.
Continuing your seaworthy adventure, you all ended up in front of a large sweeping lighthouse. Passing the lighthouse beyond the port city, you were accosted by a undersea denizen. Ooh, look at those words.
Do you have word of the day toilet paper?
Someone read a book.
Word of the day, toilet paper?
You never seen that?
I've never seen that.
Get
What I have now?
learned, son.
I guess I gotta go to the bathroom, Dave.
A dragon turtle assaulted the ship, and after a interesting encounter, the dragon turtle left feeling violated and ashamed, and we continue our journey on to Gundarloon. All right, while Orion, you're running around above deck as a bear with Korvak chasing him, and Maven, you head below decks in search of Storr. You find him on his bunk nearby a porthole, just sitting, looking out the window, and turns and looks at you. And I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from. I've never felt something like that before.
It's a lot at first. It's kind of how it happened to me too.
This whole oath thing, I don't really understand it. I never felt anything, but I tried praying recently to Cord. I think he answered. It was a feeling of strength, destruction, vengeance.
I know these feelings well. My god before him was a pushover, to put it lightly. There was another cleric I knew, and I was reading through, and Cord just seemed like not only the toughest one and the baddest one, but he just seemed like someone I think that would be in my corner, and me and him would have a good understanding with each other.
After I prayed to him a few nights ago, I had a vision aboard that boat. I've never felt weaker.
Aboard what boat?
Aboard the whatever boat I was on in my vision, this dream that Cord gave me. I was alone.
Oh.
I thought it was this ship at first, but there was this pillar. Felt like I needed to climb this pillar in my dream, but I couldn't. I couldn't grab on. I couldn't climb. I fell into the water and I was swallowed by something, a darkness, this deep purple light. And then now I have this gift? Is that what I should call it?
It seems like a gift to me.
Nearly threw Tathir off the boat.
Yeah, it did.
How is that a gift?
You don't know how to use it yet. From what I can gather, I think it's trying to teach you that you have the power for total destruction. You need to have respect for it. Look, if this is anything like, if this is from Cord, then you're in luck because I've been following him for a while and I've been doing this for a while now. And I could teach you how to better use this.
This is my problem, Maven, is it doesn't feel like it's from what I talked to. It feels like it's from whatever was beneath the waves when I fell from the pillar. I suppose all I can do is hope I'm on a similar path.
You choose whatever path you're on. Whether it's this is something from someone you want or not, you get to choose what you do with it.
He looks at you, Maven, and he just extends his hand, swings his legs over the side, and like he just wants a hand out of bed.
I'll like grip it and I'll be like, we can begin training tomorrow.
For how to control this?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I believe I owe Tathir an apology. And he reaches to the side of his bed where you can see an uncorked bottle of, you imagine, a heavy mead. And thanks, Maven.
Yeah, you can always come to me.
He begins making his way out, holding the bottle of mead, looking for Tathir.
I'm not quite sure how this works.
Sure.
If he just knows he can do it. Essentially, Maven's going to feel like he has such a connection with Cord that he's going to attempt, even though there's nothing here, he just wants to see if something will happen. And he's going to cast Divine Intervention just out in the ocean and see what comes down.
Okay. Yeah, gripping onto your blade and holding your shield the past few days, that faint pulsing, almost heartbeat that seems to connect with you, and you almost feel Cord's energy flowing through you between the two weapons across your shoulders and across your arms. And you felt it growing more and more powerful, and you begin to focus on whatever energy is being brought to you to focus this divine intervention into the water around you. Roll percentile. And you're level 10, correct?
Yeah.
So you need to roll 9 or below or 10 or below?
Equal to or lower.
And that's 10.
Holy crap. Okay, so Maven, as you're concentrating, sitting on the side of the ship, down on the ground, your knees hanging out over the side of the boat, feeling the spray of the water, you begin to feel a rumbling. Everyone, you all begin to feel the water shaking, and looking out around you, if you've ever seen like a cup of water during an earthquake where small ripples of water begin to kind of push up and droplets splash up out of the water, everything around you begins to shake as a large strike of lightning from this enormous storm strikes down 300 yards in front of the boat, and you begin to see the water bubble and boil as this large black pillar begins to form and begin growing out of the sea, taller and taller. As this boiling spot in the water begins to part, this familiar stone obelisk begins to make its way out of the water. One that you've climbed previously, covered in carvings of various people who have pledged their life to Cord, people who have, from all walks of life, people of human descent, dwarf, outlandish people who have followed Cord and taken up his oath or his following of any kind. And as you look at it, the first thing that you see is the carving that you made initially on the top. The first imprint of Maven on this pillar, and it begins to rise up out of the water in front of you as the ship is making its way in a direction where you would be able to begin climbing if you wish. The ropes hanging down the sides of the monolith still reside and begin climbing higher and higher and higher as it begins reaching towards the clouds as the ship gets closer.
And there's the same, the cord that's dangling down from it, or?
The same long, enormous rope, probably a good 3 inches around this rope that you once climbed to get to the top of, yeah.
Is anyone else on deck with me?
Yeah, everyone, the crew, Orion, Talgroff, Korvak, you're all watching this happen. You're watching this enormous pillar come out of the ground. Korvak, you've seen this before. You recall it in Waterdeep Harbor.
What is that?
But the rest of the crew, they're almost standing back, like awestruck by what's going on, just not knowing how to react. The ship itself is shaking in the almost earthquake waters around you.
Maven always knew how to get a rise out of everyone.
Did you do that?
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna. How far out in the water is it?
It looks like Cord himself has placed this so that in the direct path your boat is going, it's going to be right up next to the boat where you would be able to just reach on and grab onto this rope.
I'm gonna do exactly that.
Okay. You guys watch as Maven reaches out as the boat is passing by this enormous monolith, and he grabs onto the rope and you begin climbing. Those of you who have not seen this in the crew can see giant carvings of past followers of Cord who have carved themselves into this wall. Their journey from some of them being a smaller child on through their training as a priest to Cord, a cleric, some others going in a direction of sworn oaths. And all of these people, though, the one common thing that they have is strength. All of them they're large people, what man, woman, they're strong in all of these carvings. And Maven,
like me.
your carving is no different. But now climbing this in your Maven superhero suit, if you want to make an athletics check.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You begin climbing, and you feel that this rope is harder to climb than you've ever found it before. The last time you encountered this was within a vision that you saw with Cord when you tried to cast a lightning bolt, but you were alone. This time, looking behind, you're not alone as far as who's on the ship, but once you grab onto this monolith, it's just you and Cord. Yeah. You can feel that pushing through you, driving you forward. You're just barely hanging on.
Okay.
If you want to make another athletics check for me.
Same thing, dirty 20.
Okay.
Talgroff is down on the deck, looking at Maven, like rising up into the heavens, and taps Korvak on the shoulder and says, "Are we supposed to follow him or something?"
He's a good swimmer. I think he'll be fine. I'll slow this down.
That's not the ocean. That's...
I could turn us into birds. We could fly instead of climbing.
No, I think let him do his thing.
All right.
So Maven, as you get to the pillar, it's not too high yet, and you begin climbing it taller and taller, and you reach the top of it. As this monolith continues to grow out of the ocean, your height is rising with it at this point. It's harder to breathe. It's far more humid. You're starting to get close to the clouds, but while the climb gets more difficult as you're going up, you reach the top, and on top of the monolith, you see a hammer, a chisel, and your blank area on the side where you once chiseled in the first portion of this. Let me explain this a little bit better. Each character on this monolith it's almost like a totem pole, the way it's carved into it. So everybody's taking this totem pole approach to it, where they start off as a novice, just learning of Cord, just climbing this monolith. And as it goes around, you can see their journey, where some of them have slayed dragons, others have slayed beholders, illithid, all manner of creatures, ones you've never seen. And then eventually it's just a sword. The same sword that you hold is the final image carved into all of these. But you, Maven, have your first image, if you'd like to describe what that is, already carved into it.
Remind me again, the guy in the beginning that first attacked my ship.
So you remember a few things about this man who attacked your ship the last time you saw your brother, Maven, before you woke up aboard the beach. You remember the oily skin, this black oil that was just emanating throughout his body, dripping off of the tentacles that hung from his face. And you also remember his small familiar, the small fiendish familiar that he had.
Since that's the start of Maven's story, that's what he's going to chisel in there.
Okay. So you begin carving Maven, and with each strike of the hammer, you feel this humming, the same heartbeat pulsing throughout your body, and you feel your strength growing and growing with each strike that you put into this monolith. And as you set it down, that familiar voice you heard in your vision, that voice that just rang out across the ocean and said respect, you feel like you've done that here on the monolith.
Maven will look at some of the other drawings, and he'll look at some of those and just kind of admire the work and think of other people that have been here. And then he's going to, as detailed as he can, envision what he has and being on top of this monolith again at some point. But he wants to just be like sitting here almost on a throne, listening for other sailors that need his help.
Okay. Make a perception check, Maven.
Dirty 20.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
a lot of dirty 20s.
He's a dirty
Dirty
boy.
boy.
So as you're sitting aboard the monolith, just almost in a meditative state, you begin focusing on this goal that you have to protect the seas from pirates, to be almost a lookout, a rescuer of lost people at the sea or people in need.
The biggest lighthouse there is.
And as you're focusing on this, you feel your beard begin to smolder. And as you look around across the ocean, for a few seconds, you can just see ships in the distance. You can see and sense the presence of pirate ships in the distance. And for a moment, you feel like you could get there before that feeling dissipates. You feel that that goal of yours is beginning to manifest before you feel the pillar rumble again and it begins to sink and begin plummeting into the water.
Maven will happily write it down.
So does it like go down like an elevator, or just like does it go down like a tower of terror?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
It's closer to like Tower of Terror, but as it gets swallowed into the ocean, the waters begin to calm and return to their normal surging selves out in the middle of the sea. Orion, Korvak, and Talgroff, is you just watching this, I assume?
Is everyone watching me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not.
As I'm swimming, I'm going to swim up to the boat, cast water walk on myself, and then control water so it'll pick me up to the ship.
Oh, wow. Okay, there you go. Just getting it all going. Yeah, so as you do that, you hear the John Cena music playing in the background as you strut up to the ship.
Weird. I
on the
don't,
surface of
I
the
don't
water.
see a thing.
And you climb back into the boat. No problem.
You should have jumped. That would have been way cool. Imagine the cannonball, Maven.
Next time.
Imagine the cat. Did he just like elevator?
You would have splashed the whole ocean out the
I
water.
don't know what an elevator is. Never mind.
That was
What was that?
wicked.
That was. Wow.
Speed, full speed ahead. The crew begins lowering the sails, and though this event was magnificent, the crew seems to be getting used to ridiculous things with you guys after gagging a dragon turtle. Should I use different adjectives? Probably.
I don't know. That's accurate.
After the encounter with the dragon turtle.
There you go.
So it's pretty clear that you're somewhat of a master of the seas. It's starting to make sense now. The whole monolith thing.
You know, he can swim.
Did you see anything when you were up there?
I made my mark up there. One day it'll be a permanent fixture in the ocean. Maven will just go like down the stairs.
Sure. And as you do, the crew goes about their business, getting the boat moving full speed again on your way to Gundarloon. But over the next few days, you're all continuing your journey to Gundarloon. Maven, you carve out a small spot aboard the ship for, half an hour every day, just helping Sora kind of try and focus this energy. And for quite a few days, he's unable to summon any of that energy, but over time, he is able to kind of focus it, and you're noticing that with your shield, which is able to absorb this similar power that Cord passes through you, his strikes are landing, and as they're landing, it's emanating this, what you recognize as a smite from his weapon.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Cool.
Orion, throughout the next 6 days or so, you feel yourself almost getting dehydrated, almost getting exhausted, feeling like you're leaving something behind. But you're not sure what, you can't quite pinpoint it. But you feel like whatever this creature spoke to you about, you're leaving it behind momentarily.
Does anyone have any water? All I've drinking is mead, and it's hurting my tummy.
Should be some below deck.
Yeah, they're by the potatoes.
Okay, sweet. I've had lots of those.
Maven, looking at Orion, it looks almost like a sailor that's drinking some seawater. Like along those lines, where just very chapped lips, a little bit red skin, kind of pulled back onto their body a little bit. Just like pretty extreme dehydration for being well supplied. But other than that, he looks healthy enough. He's definitely eating enough. You're watching him drink it plenty, maybe like a sip of mead in this whole journey, but it is odd.
Okay. Hey, Ryan.
Oh, hey, Maven.
I was just thinking while I was when I climbed that pillar.
That was cool.
I have a vision and I need your help for it. At some point I want to be a beacon in the water and I want people to call to me if they need help. And I need you to spread my word.
Oh, I can do that. You see, I have kind of like a song for each of us in this musical I'm working on, and I can make yours about like, come to me for help.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be cool. You know, I kind of miss when we were like down below in the well and everyone was like, oh, I know you. You guys are so cool. Remember that? Like, we need some of that out here.
Yeah, you should sell your book out here.
Maybe, you know, when we find Ook in Gundarloon, maybe he's already spread this tale far and wide.
Yeah.
You hear from the crow's nest the shout of, Lando! And looking forward, you can see Maven and Korvak. You see a familiar landscape of the port of Gundarloon. A number of ships are in port. Those of you who have not been here before, you can make out just on the horizon on the top of this island. And you would all know that Gundarloon is a kind of a network of islands. There's a lot of small islands that
Couple turtles.
a few of you have been to. But you can just make out the ruined castle where you once met Olgrave, the, what's the right word, the Jarl of Gundarloon at, and you had a dinner with him there with Thaedra and Thora.
And Valeth.
A while back, and Valeth. You can just make out Dragon Turtle Inn, where you had a drink previously, as well as the... Yes?
That was a pirate bar, wasn't it?
No, that was the Crow's Nest Tavern,
Is that here?
which is also here.
Okay.
But you can make out those shops, as well as most notably here is the Saltwood Storehouse, where you remember Ben the clerk and Olgus Saltwood, the woman covered in eyes with all these strange creatures that could make water-breathing potions.
Oh, yeah.
The Crow's Nest Tavern was the husk of a ship that was pulled up onto shore and made into a small tavern run by wereshark-like creatures. Is also a destination within Gundarloon. It's like on the horizon, like you can make out the keep, you can make out these small details. Mostly like Maven and Korvak, you're probably, the memories are flooding in of this place as you're seeing the keep, which is most notably kind of like the landscape of this area. It runs along the ridge of the island, so it's backlit by the sun as you're pulling into port. And as you're getting closer and closer, you're remembering the various shops and people that live and work here.
Maven,
Yeah.
how do you feel about coming back to this place?
This place sucked.
It has been a while, and I don't believe any good came from it.
I believe 3 of our party members died here.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure one of them is actually not dead.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
As you guys are pulling closer and closer to port, Orion and Maven, you each recognize the symbol of a deity on some of the flags on the ships in the harbor here. About 6 of the ships here, larger ships, hold the flag of Mystra, a goddess known as the Mother of Magic. So you guys begin pulling into port, begin getting your boat pulled up to the side, tied up to the docks.
It's a ship,
Your ship.
and it's my ship.
And you're currently docked in the harbor of Gundarloon, the small, sprawling city before you with this overlooking ruined castle in the background. It looks similar to the last time Korvak and Maven, the last time you were here, but there are definitely a few changes, one of which being the general mood of people in the city looks, rather than the poor fisher folk you last saw, you still see those same people walking around this area, but they look like they're looking over their shoulder. Like they're expecting the worst.
Maven,
Yeah.
don't forget the eyes. It originated here, remember?
Yeah. I remember.
Orion, Talgroth,
Yeah?
Y'all.
keep your eye out for eyes.
Eyes.
Yeah, they got weird stuff going on with their eyes here.
You mean the creepy things?
Yeah, remember
Explodings?
when the thing exploded?
That brain
Yeah.
thing will come
Yeah.
out of that brain
Brain.
dog.
Okay. And
This
there's
is where we first saw it.
and there is some kind of like mage hunters or something on here too, right?
They sure are.
Yeah, those
and
guys
they
suck. They suck.
How do we find them?
They'll find you.
They find you.
If they do, find us.
Are you a mage?
Well,
No, neither one of us are mages.
No, you
Then
get.
they're not
he's-
gonna hunt you, right?
He's mage-like.
Come on, we don't want to scare the boy.
Yeah, don't scare me.
Just turn into a big dog again.
Are you serious?
I can do that.
He's killed a few people before.
Stop!
You
Just
bet.
sound it out, guys. We just got here.
By the way, just total honesty here. That building's coming down before we leave.
Yeah, he points towards a half a ship that has been pulled onto land.
I got some business before it goes down, but
That's fine, but when that's over, and I'm gonna thaumaturgy for a sound effect, and I'm gonna be like an actual explosion, like just like not loud, but just so the
Sure.
sound effect is more authentic.
Sure, yeah. You say it really quietly and kind of.
I'll even let it linger, so there's like
You just crank the gain.
so yeah, so there's like
Heavy
debris
reverb.
falling and stuff. Yeah.
Wait, so we're gonna destroy a building? Is that what we came here for?
It's a pirate bar. No, it's not. What we came here for is way worse than that.
I mean, there's a couple of reasons why we came here. It's not just all bad, but it's mostly not good.
Captain!
That's me.
You see a hooded individual standing on the edge of the gangplank looking around at the port itself. I have a message. Hide Maven.
Is this a crew member?
This is a guy you have never seen before. He is...
I just heard him say hide Maven.
He has walked up the gangplank and he says, hide Maven, quickly. He looks at you, Korvak.
Come on, everyone, follow me. Come on to my quarters. Now that we're all here, Roy and Telegraph leaf.
This figure, as he steps inside of the room, you can get a slightly better look at him as he takes down his hood, this black leather cloak that he's wearing. He appears to be a dwarvish man, a deep black beard, completely shaved head, and like piercing blue eyes. And my name's Jai. Maven, he pushes a note in your direction, just pushes it against your chest without making eye contact with you. And I'm surprised you've come here, Korvak. You unroll it, Maven, and you see a picture of yourself on a wanted poster. Wanted for murder
How much?
by order of the mage hunters for 10,000 gold. At the top of the page, you see Mistra's symbol. The same one that was aboard all of the ships in the dock.
Who did I kill lately? That
You've come back,
I have.
looking at Korvak. Why?
I've got business.
You brought back him as well. Do you know what we've done to cover your murder?
And would you like to remind me of who I murdered? Specifically,
You
there's
truly,
been a few.
you truly do not recall who you've murdered in cold blood. One of the mage hunters in Fiskabrock.
Well, I didn't do that though.
You hid his body in the forest.
Did I do that?
You took him and dismembered him.
I didn't do that.
You and a woman, a barbarian.
Did I do that?
Dude, yeah, you guys totally did.
You know, I vaguely remember that. That's so long ago. I'm not calling you a liar.
Half of the city is looking for you, Maven, and our connections have hid you, Korvak.
Out of game, I'm remembering now, I think.
Yeah, me too. I remember it was a very high tension moment at the table because me and Danielle were thinking it's funny and everyone thought it was very grotesque. But Orion could just make us look like someone else, I think, or like a bird or something.
So you're hiding me, so I'm not wanted, but
We're
he is.
not hiding you. Maven has an unknown accomplice.
Unknown. Okay, so I'm not.
Someone has paid a lot of money to hide your tracks. He's not going to be happy to see you, though he's now expecting you. I suggest you make your way in his direction.
I planned on that. Now, what if I gave them this unknown accomplice?
It would certainly ease the burden. He takes off his cloak and he hands it to you, Maven, and it's better than nothing.
Is
Yes,
it black?
It is. It's a black leather cloak. It's like a trench coat.
Is this guy
length.
human?
He's a dwarf.
That's kind of small.
You were gonna say that regardless.
Yeah, he was.
If he was an orc, I wouldn't have said it.
You're pretty small for an orc.
I would like to meet with him. In fact, I've got business with him. But I do believe that I might be able to give a name of this unknown accomplice. Not my name, of course. That would be stupid.
Make your way to him. And Korvak, I'm telling you this not as a member, but as someone who's concerned for you. Get out. There are more than just these people hunting you. And he turns around to leave.
Now, I've got business to attend. I don't know if you want to go separately or not.
I don't know. Let's see what Orion can do. Because I'm not wearing this. And I just, like, put his cape off to the side.
Okay.
Does it seem magical or anything?
No.
Yeah, no.
As the door opens and the guy struts out, Talgroth will look at Orion and be like, do you know what's going on?
No, I don't know, but I remember something that Maven asked me to do, and I'm gonna run off the boat, and I'm gonna run towards like workers working on the dock, packing boats, packing things, and I'm gonna say, my buddy Maven, the Monolith Smolderbeard on that ship right there, he is the best. Tell everybody we just arrived. Us and Korvak and Talgroth and me. My name's Orion. We're all here, and tell everybody that we're a coming. Spread the word. Maven the Monolith.
Doing his job.
Smolder Beard.
Doing the Lord's work, Molder Bird. Proud of you, kid.
Was that a bad idea, Dave? Was that a bad idea?
Let's go get Orion, and then we'll just see if he can, like, low-key, like, because he could probably, like, make us invisible or
Same sentence.
just give me a, like,
How about this? I'm not the one with the poster. How about you figure that out, and I'm going to go figure out this business. And I will find you afterwards. We can meet up at the ship.
All right.
You guys come up above deck, and you can hear Orion yelling as he's running down and walking, almost marching with his hands up in the air, projecting his voice as loud as he can. Maven the Monolith Smolderbeard, and going through your entire group and motioning to the ships at his side, and then turning to his other side to his left and looking at whatever ships are there and whatever fishermen are walking by, and just announcing to all of them, ringing out across the docks as far as you can see. People are turning their heads, fishermen are turning their heads, and just in the distance you can see a few mage hunters that turn their heads as they're standing on the edge of the docks. A woman and a male mage hunter dressed in the traditional deep burgundy long robes, though there has been a change where the symbol of Mystra is on the back of their long cloaks.
I don't know if these guys can see me. I'm just going to kind of back up and just, like, drop into the water from the back of the ship. Like, jump out the back and just swim super deep underwater, but get to where I can see the crow's nest. But I'm going to hang out under there for, like, maybe 5 minutes and then come up. And I want, if I can, get to a place where I can see the entrance.
Okay. Yeah, you do so easily enough. Just make a stealth check with advantage with your current positioning.
19.
Okay, yeah, they don't seem to be actively looking for anyone aside from looking in the direction of Orion. Orion, people begin looking at you odd, and you see a few of them begin to get closer to each other and start whispering, and then they're looking around.
That's right. Tell everybody you know.
Lad, what you doing?
A gentleman begins walking up to you, a fisherman, a poor man. You said Maven?
Maven the Monolith Smolderbeard. Talgroth, he asked me to spread his tail, so that's what I'm doing. The most electrifying man in the sea, sir.
Yeah, good job.
Maven.
Good job. He did say that, didn't he?
He asked me to.
I remember.
Tell me where he is. I'll
take you to him.
give you 5.
You'll give me what?
5 gold.
Yeah. Let's go.
Wow, see, they're already famous here.
Just
all of us.
Just a moment. Let me grab an associate.
You grab everybody. 5 gold each.
And he begins walking towards the end of the dock. You see him talking. You see him talking with a man in a deep burgundy robe with the symbol of Mystra before he begins motioning him in the direction of the ship. And he begins walking with now the other member of the mage hunters, unbeknownst to yourself, walking in the direction of the Ocean Splendor.
Talgroth will be trying to collect the gold while Orion leads them onto the ship.
This is so bad.
The fisherman hands you 5 gold, and the other 2 figures in the burgundy, they say, how about this? Once we see him, We will give you 9,995 gold just to really round that out.
What? What? That doesn't.
Thank you for bringing in a fugitive wanted for murder. And he begins making his way up the gangplank to the
Wait,
Ocean Splendor.
We've all killed people.
Did he?
The man and the woman begin making their way up the main gangplank, and you can see a number of the crewmates on the side after hearing wanted for murder. They look at each other and start kind of whispering amongst themselves.
Did he say wanted fugitive?
Hey, Tallgraph, I think I made a mistake.
What do you mean? We were famous in where we were in the dungeons area.
But I don't think everyone knew about us yet, and now they're like getting on the ship. I'm gonna go find Maven.
Yeah, maybe you should do that. I'll be sure to follow these guys in their weird coats. Make sure they don't see anything weird, or I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, quick, let's go get there.
Yeah, we got 5 gold already.
And I'll pocket the 5 gold.
Korvak, you make your way to the Crow's Nest Tavern. Mm-hmm. And walking in the entrance, the familiar space, the splashing on the floor as this boat is barely hanging onto the shoreline, though no less so than it was previously.
Memories.
Walking in, you see the familiar were-shark that runs this establishment, One-Eyed Billy behind the counter. And looking up at you, he looks around the tavern. While mostly open and spacious, there is a table of odd-looking individuals. As a group, they look very suspicious as a whole, but it's not an unfamiliar sight, especially in a place such as this. And as you approach and enter in the tavern, you remember the small staircase off to the side that goes into the underground portion of the ship, built beneath it for members of the Black Network of the Zentarum that you belong to. This time, there is a guard positioned at the top of the stairs, and Rasad's expecting you sit. Motions at an empty table off to the side.
Is there a line? It seems like this place is quite empty.
I believe you're behind these gentlemen that have taken the liberty of disposing of your quarry. Motions to the gentleman. at the
My
table.
quarry.
And you can see that the gentlemen on the table, they have a long leather bag that appears to have a long zipper across it. It's stuffed with something. You're unsure of what, but as this guardsman motions to them, they all give a nod and a smile. Seems you're getting slow, Korvak. One that doesn't even speak our own language, huh?
I'm not sure what that means, but I am not slow. And it seems that you are inside of a decrepit ship while mine still floats.
Interesting. Well, we're next for Rasad, so get in line, yeah. A few minutes go by, and you see a strange individual making his way out of this area, a halfling, one that you don't recognize, small mutton chops, connects over a mustache, and makes his way out without paying you any mind. This group with the bag, they pick up the bag, and this one was hard to get, huh?
You tell me. Do you need a hand with that? You're looking like you can...
No,
Get
we can handle Valeth ourselves. Thanks, though. And they begin making their way down the staircase, holding this leather bag.
All right, well, good luck.
30 minutes go by before anyone makes their way out of this small area. They walk out, and now instead of the large leather bag, they're holding a pretty hefty coin purse as he comes out and shakes it in front of you. And seems one who can't speak our own language. Can't quite keep up, huh?
Is that all you got?
Seems like more than you're gonna get. He doesn't seem too happy, huh? Well, Korvak. Pleasure.
Thanks, Captain Korvak.
If you say so. He starts walking out of the tavern, jingling his coin purse happily behind him. The bodyguard atop the staircase, after the men leave, he holds up his hand and motions down the staircase. If you so desire.
Oh, walk on by.
Make your way down. You descend the staircase and open into the small room, which last time you were in, you, with the help of Maven, disposed of your past companion Click inside of this room. The small hearthy fireplace still remains, and this Rakshasa sitting on a small velvet throne with a, well, throne, that's the wrong word, a small velvet seat, like a love seat style. And a barman in the back pouring up drinks. Korvak.
Captain Korvak. These chairs are very comfortable.
You see this familiar, vibrantly colored humanoid tiger figure in front of you, the orange and black stripes across his figure underneath the well-dressed manner he holds.
Did you do something to your hair?
No.
Well, you look great.
Why are you back?
It appears to me that I have been given a task for someone that has died apparently 3 times now. So I would like to know why I was given a task to kill a dead man.
You were once a useful pawn in my game of chess, but I feel as though your usefulness is fading.
And why would you say that?
With his right hand, he motions to the bag that you now see positioned between either of you, and would you mind opening this?
Oh, sure, I would love to. I love presents.
As you unzip it inside, you see a familiar face, that of Valith. Decrepit, bloated, covered in various sea life, similar to how you last saw Click. Why is it that other members are undermining you? Why is it that they're able to find your quarry before yourself?
Here's the problem with this. I was given this bounty days after he has already been dead.
You said he's been dead 3 times.
He's been killed 3 times, yes.
Yes, and yet his corpse sits here.
I would like to think you, of all people, would understand that magic is a thing.
I believe Korvak, you are misinformed.
Captain Korvak.
I believe Korvak, you are misinformed. The guild is growing tired of you. You understand I am a knight in this game and you are a pawn, but there are kings above us.
Do you have a point you're making?
You've been granted the rank of assassin because you've proven yourself to be able to take out targets that are difficult to pin down, and yet I have a corpse of one here that a thug was able to bring in.
That must have happened when I was dead then.
I understand that Valith has died multiple times, and I understand he's going to continue to die. This is hardly his last corpse. Do you understand my meaning?
Not really, to be honest.
So my assassin is lost.
No, you see, you're getting upset at me for not killing a bounty, which you yourself said has died multiple times.
The larger pieces in play here, they are the ones that are upset at you, and they are the ones that will come and find you and dispatch you as they see fit. Or reward you, depending on your success or failure. You see, you're far too long in this game for me to abandon you. If I abandon you, I'm a failure. I'm curious as to why you've come back to Gundarloon, though, a place where you aided in the murder of a mage hunter, one that hunts you and your friends openly, and yet you come back here expecting to find what exactly? The storm is east. What you hunt is east.
The storm is east. You care to elaborate on what exactly you're talking about?
I don't expect to have to. There's a group of people here, recently established. Vampires have taken over previous Jarl's homestead. Head there. You might find some manner of refuge, and keep the fact that he's been overrun quiet.
The Jarl, that is.
Yes. And Korvak, may I reiterate, we are not on opposite sides here. You see, your success is my success, and your failures are my failures. I wish you to succeed, but there is only so much information I am able to share.
I will get my bounty, just like I'm going to get my leg back.
We've paid out 3 bounties on this one life, and I'm sure that there is more to be paid. Please end the bounties. We can only shell out so much money.
I'll do this one for free if you tell your queens and bishops and whatever metaphor you would like to use to kindly... You know what? I'm just gonna go.
Good luck, Korvak.
I don't need it.
And you begin making your way out of the tavern. As you step outside of the tavern, Maven, as you've been watching, you saw a group of people leave this tavern. A group of shady-looking figures holding a large coin purse. And as they begin making their way into the city, the first alleyway they walk behind, you watch a firing squad walk around the corner, wearing similar cloaks to the one of the member that approached you on the Ocean's Splendor. They step around the corner, you hear a firing of loud firearms before these figures walk away with the coin purse these people were holding and walk inside the tavern. Korvak, as you come outside, you see a new group of figures here. One wearing similar cloaks to those of the individual you saw come aboard the Ocean Splendor and initially tell you of Rasad anxiously awaiting you.
Maven's just gonna be like, typical.
And as you exit, Maven, you see Korvak exit.
Maven's gonna wait.
Strong wind. Okay.
He's not gonna do anything just yet.
Yeah, you see Korvak leave.
I'm
You
just
see
gonna
all that.
wait there though.
You see all of that transpire. Orion and Talgroff, you guys back at the ship. The mage hunters go on board and they begin searching through the ship. Within about 20 minutes or so, members of the crew are being lined up on deck, lined up along the outside railing of the ship. And one by one, they're being questioned about what they know about Maven and what they know about the captain and what all is transpiring aboard the ship and who runs what. And the crew is holding close to their chest about what it is they know. It's very obvious they are protecting.
Just while this is going down, then really quick, I want to stay hidden and I'll move as slow as I need to. And just like my eyes are above water. I'm like a crocodile right now, and I just want to start moving and see what I can see.
If there's mage hunters on my ship, I'm going to beeline to my ship.
Okay. Yeah, Korvak, as you kind of post up on the building to see what it is that's going on at the ship ahead, at your own ship, you see the mage hunters, and you begin making your way in the direction of the Ocean Splendor. Orion and Talgroff, is there anything you guys are doing as this is all going on? You're standing at the bottom of the gangplank, like, what?
How many mage hunters on the ship?
There's only 2 right now, the 2 initial.
When they're not looking, I want to catch eyes with Talgroff and just like kind of point to him, and I like cross my finger over their throat. Should we kill him?
Let's just take him out however we can.
Okay, like right now. I'll go right, you go left.
Sounds good.
Okay, on 3?
On 3.
Okay, right from right here?
I love D&D.
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
So we're going to roll initiative. All right, 2025.
22.
Wow.
12.
10.
Unnatural 1.
Oh no.
Oh, what?
Wow, I didn't think I'd go before anyone because I
Good
rolled
job,
a natural
Korvak.
one.
Lucky.
I thought
Okay.
I was the only one with a negative stat.
So Ryan, you're up first as you're standing aboard the Ocean Splendor. These 2 mage hunters who definitely don't have their weapons out, anything of that nature, but are asking to search the ship for a murderer by the name of Maven. If you would like to unleash your spell.
I clap my hands together and I cast Shatter between their 2 heads to try to like rupture their eardrums and do a whole bunch of damage.
Okay, cool. Make an intelligence save.
14.
14 passes.
Whew. Okay, so they each need to make a constitution save.
First one is a 13.
Fails.
Second one is a 5.
Fails. Okay, so they're both gonna take 5d8 thunder damage.
Okay.
24 thunder damage to both of them.
Dang. As your shatter explodes on the deck of the ship, it does blow out a few boards on the side of the ship itself, but not in any sort of impactful way to the boat. But as it shatters out and it rings across the deck, everyone in the nearby vicinity is looking in the ship's direction in this quick moment. Korvak, you hear it.
At this point, when I hear that, I'll start sprinting to the ship.
And Maven, you hear it as well. It rings out around the various fishermen in the nearby area. Everyone turns and looks in the direction of the Ocean Splendor.
Seeing that I was quicker than Talgroff and then he's still rearing up for an attack or a spell next to me, I'm going to try to inspire him. And I'm going to say, go smack his head till he's dead. Kill him, kill him, kill him. And I'll try to, I'll give you some inspiration. It's a D10 now.
You never cease to amaze us.
How big are their ships?
Their ships are slightly smaller than the Ocean Splendor, but not by a significant margin.
Gotcha.
But mine is bigger.
So, okay, up next, Korvak. It is your go as this loud thundering explosion shatters across the ship, and you turn and looking directly at it now, you can see Orion standing, him and Talgroff heading up against 2 mage hunters.
Okay, then I'm just gonna sprint to get to at least the dock. I don't
Start
know to get
running
on it,
towards
but
the
I'm gonna start
docks.
running towards it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Maven. Sure go.
I'm going to swim to under their ships, and I'm going to cast Shatter at the bottom of one of them.
Okay. Yeah, you dive down under the water, and you start swimming in the direction of those ships. You get in range to be able to cast Shatter.
Maven the Dwarven Torpedo.
Yeah, roll damage.
I'm just going to use my Channel Divinity and max it out.
Okay, for how much?
It's 24.
You cast your Shatter at the bottom of the ship, and it's loud. The water around the ship ripples, and a few little spots on the bottom of the boat kind of splinter outwards, or inwards rather, but it doesn't appear to have caused massive amounts of damage by any means. All right, it's now the Mage Hunters go, as the woman is going to turn and grab what looks like a stone from her side, and she's going to reach back and throw it at your ankles and at Orion's ankles. And Orion, I need a strength save, please.
Careful there.
Okay, come on, Ryan. Come on, you strong boy. It was bad. It was a 2.
A 2. As the stone strikes your foot, it spreads out, reaches your other foot as well, and both of your feet are completely encased in stone that attaches to the boat as well. You find yourself almost losing your balance as you lean forward. And as you look down at it, it looks very similar to what you saw in the sewers beneath Waterdeep.
Oh, they're gonna sink me.
The other one reaches into his side coat, and he pulls out what looks like a large barreled pistol, and he pulls the trigger, shooting it straight into the air, and a streaking red light of this flare shoots up into the air before it begins to slowly pulse in the sky and let out a bright red light across the entire bay.
Whoops.
Talgroth, it's your go.
Talgroth is going to take a step or two towards the Mage Hunters and then watch Orion get totally stopped in his tracks, which makes him hesitate for a moment. And then he kind of, instead of attacking one of the Mage Hunters, he goes back and starts trying to help Orion get out of this stone encasement.
Okay, so you run over to Orion, who you're already standing kind of right next to, but you bend down. Talgroth, you begin to examine the restraints that are now around Orion. If you would like to make an investigation check for me.
5.
So as you're examining these stone boots that are attached to the deck of the ship, looking over them, you don't see any sort of seam, anything that would be easily released. You kind of grab onto Orion's ankles and just start pulling. It doesn't appear to be that you're able to release them at the moment. Orion, you're now attached to the boat. The woman that threw this anklet at you turns, and they seem to be involved with Maven. Arrest both of them.
Since Talgroth's right next to me, I'm gonna try grabbing onto his arm, and then I'm gonna cast Dimension Door, and I'm gonna try to teleport us to the shore.
Okay.
That's hella cool.
Yeah, you grab onto Talgroth and you Dimension Door out of the shackles on your ankle.
Yes.
And you and Talgroth appear on the shore up to 300 feet away. 5. So you can appear 500 feet away if you'd like. You guys aren't that far from the shoreline itself, maybe like 200 feet to the shoreline, and then it breaks off to the right where you can see in the distance, you can see Korvak making his way in. Definitely outside of the 500 foot, but just barely.
Okay.
You can, however, see that all of the buildings along the shoreline, there's a number of alleyways. If you'd like to Dimension Door into an alleyway, you could. You could Dimension Door into the water. Off to the left, you can see that there is a road that leads up a hillside. You couldn't get quite to there, but you could get in that direction, which would lead you towards this ruined keep.
Okay.
You have some options.
In the heat of the moment, as I turn to look for a spot and I see kind of Korvak in the distance, like kind of in a full sprint, I'm just gonna take us as close as I can to Korvak.
Okay. Orion, you cast Dimension Door, grabbing on to Talgroth's arm. This door appears in front of you, and as you open it up, you hear from inside as you see this purple shimmering barrier, and you step inside of it. Well, you get kind of sucked in as your feet are just pulled out of the restraints that are still remain on the deck of the ship, and you appear 500 feet closer to Korvak. If Talgroth and Orion can make stealth checks with advantage for me.
Nice.
These guys about to go to jail. 8.
8?
26.
Get him out.
26, okay.
You have inspiration still, don't you?
It's not gonna help.
You don't ever inspire Kyle again.
It's a D10.
It's a D10, bro.
You both appear on the shoreline. closer to Korvak. Talgroth, you appear right as a wave's coming down. You sploosh down into the wave, but they don't seem to notice from where they currently are. However, you're now 500 feet closer to Korvak. Korvak, you see the shimmering barrier appear, and both of them step out of a door just 200 feet in front of you or so.
What happened?
I did it. Come on, run.
Oh, look, there's Korvak.
Korvak, it's your go.
I'm actually going to continue to sprint towards the ship. I don't know how far away I am from it.
Yeah, I mean, they just dimension doored like 500 feet, and if you dash, you can get almost to Talgroth and Orion.
Okay.
Maven, it's your go as you're underneath the water at the bottom of one of the Mage Hunter's ships.
How many ships are like close to this one? Are there like 10, 1?
There's a lot of ships nearby. There's like fishermen's boats, things like that. The Mage Hunter ships are kind of scattered throughout the bay. There's a total of about 8 Mage Hunter ships. You didn't take exact inventory when you came in, but as far as nearby, I'd say that there's probably like 2 close to each other.
I'm going to back up a little bit, and I'm going to cast Control Water, and I'm going to start making a 20-foot wave, and I'm going to push these boats wherever, and it has a 25% chance to capsize them.
Cool. That's dope. Yeah. Yeah. So you make a giant wave in the docks. The wave surges up, splashes over on top of the boats. And if you want to roll percentile, 75 or above.
God, the imagery there, just like the tide pulling back slowly.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, what's going on? Then they look up, there's just a
37.
wave.
37, you pull back, concentrating as well as you can on this energy. But in the moment, knowing that perhaps Talgroth and Orion are not doing so great, you break your concentration. You're unable to control the waves well enough to capsize. But they do go over the tops of the boats, and you imagine you get some people wet.
I'm going to, if I have any more movement, back up and stick my head out a little more. I don't care if I'm seen anymore, but this is going to continue for 10 minutes.
Okay. It's just going to keep surging here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maven the Torpedo, Maven the Waterbender.
Waterbender.
Wow, I'm collecting the titles, but you're not far behind there.
So that'll be my turn then.
It's now the Mage Hunters who, the 2 aboard the ship, they each pull out what looks like a spyglass from those of you who can see, and they begin scanning the shoreline, holding the spyglass to their eye and just sweeping across the shoreline. From deeper within the city, you begin to see another flare rise up from the building, shoot up into the air, and then another, and another, and another. You see a total of 6 flares for you're not sure how many Mage Hunters, but scattered throughout the city as they're now cascading down. The city, now coming to dusk, is almost bathed in the red light of these flares as they're slowly just making their way back to the ground, as you imagine you've alerted an entire city force to your presence.
All right. Thanks for listening to the latest installment of our game, Into the Storm, Season 2. If you are arriving in the middle of the story, listen back to Season 1, The Dungeon of the Wacky Wizard, to discover our players' origins. Please take a moment to leave us a review on Apple Podcast to share your opinion about our show, and be sure to subscribe so you won't miss any Lazy Bard releases. Now, if you want more, check out patreon.com/thelazybardcast for bonus content. We'll see you next time on the Lazy Bardcast. Cannonball the ocean out the water.
Yeah, I mean, that might happen. I don't know. I never jumped that high.
Cannonball the ocean out the water.
Maybe. I've never tried, so.
It makes sense if you don't think about it too hard.
That is our next song we need to release. That has to be a Patreon, like a Patreon song.
Cannonball. Cannonball the ocean out the water.
It's like Panama.